opportunity just too great to turn down? What is it that you're looking to do with an opportunity to go global with Supercross?
I mean, there's many answers, but I think ultimately I'm here because of the thought of Supercross going global. I'm in the unique situation that I've been around long enough to remember end of 2002, we tried to do this and we tried to achieve this. I was on one team that put a lot of effort into trying to support Supercross going global. And I was young and dumb at that point, but I was so, I don't know, the goal of like racing all over the world was so awesome. You know, I was fresh off of racing in Europe and doing MXGPs. I had a year in America racing AMA stuff, and the thought of then again, you know, getting to go back racing on a global level around the world with Supercross was such an amazing thought. And to see that flame out and how it flamed out, and then here we are 20 odd years later with a real opportunity to do it the correct way. That excites me to come out of retirement. That's a terrible way to say it because I'm not coming out of retirement. This is me having fun at a couple of races, getting to, you know, race some old friends and rivals and support Supercross at a global level.
Ken, similar story to Chad. You were one of the riders that brought an international flavor to the U.S., which is always a big story when somebody from somewhere else in the world came to race Supercross in the U.S. Now we're going to do something you've always wanted to do and take Supercross to a global platform. How important for you is that?
Well, first off, I love being here. I'm the kind of person that is always looking for something new and something exciting and essentially stepping out of our comfort zone. You know, we're so used to our American Supercross and motocross scene that for me, this sounded very appealing. And obviously I have a history of going international and being in the GPs and starting at a young age. And I haven't even been in the American motocross and supercross scene as long as some other riders, obviously, but yet I was wanting to expand my horizon a little bit again and at the same time see some familiar faces that I used to race against back in the day and meeting new people and seeing some new logos and a bunch of new stuff, different culture, which this is what I loved doing when I was younger. And ever since I've came to the US, we've kind of just been in our little bubble over there, and I feel like for me it was time to expand on that again. And now we're here, and I'm super excited. I've been loving it, and most importantly, it hasn't felt like a job, which is something that I have been craving a little bit. And doing this with the family and seeing some new things, you know, obviously my little 2-year-old is having a blast, and Courtney hasn't been around the world yet either. So I'm super excited to go to continents and countries that I personally haven't been to yet, and yeah, so we're here, and I can't be more excited to be a part of it.
Max, you as well came to the U.S. and did some racing over there, but now here we are, basically your home GP. How excited are for you to be able to race Supercross in front of the hometown fans and show them what you've been dreaming of and chasing in the U.S.?
You know, I'm really excited to be back home. You know, from day one when I heard that this race was going on, it's going to be in Cardiff. I was like, wow, I've got to be a part of this, and we've made it happen with the Honda Genuine guys, and basically, you know, the dream was always to go to America and race Supercross, and I raced GPs for a lot of years, and you're going from team to team, and I spent time there when I was younger, and then recently in the last few years I made the step and I was like, we're either going to sink or swim. Let's go to America and make it work. And I packed up my bags with my wife and we headed out there. And now to be able to bring Supercross back home, back to, you know, where I came from. My mum only lives an hour away. I got loads of family. I got like 40, 50 people coming up that have never even seen me ride Supercross, because unless they've actually flown to California to watch Anaheim or flown to America, they've seen me ride outdoors over here, but never seen me ride Supercross. So it's one of those where it's kind of weird to be right back here, because I actually raced here in 2003 on a 65 in the stadium, and at that time, you know, I was dreaming about racing Supercross, and I remember watching Mike Alessi ride around there and thinking, wow, maybe one day I can do that, and like you know, that's the dream. And you start off in this stadium, which is a big stadium, but you know, you're a kid, and then you want to go to America, and I've done that, and obviously we're progressing. But now to be able to bring the top guys that I'm sat next to back here for the fans all over Europe, all over the whole. I mean, I saw some guys from India this morning that were like, they've flown all the way here just to watch this race. Like, you're getting a whole different group of fans, and it's great for them to be able to see a proper race, a proper supercross race, and proper guys racing for it.
Eli, right now you're listed as a wild card. What's it going to take to get you to maybe become full-time in this championship as well?
Well, it's going to take me wanting to race again next year. Right now, I only have my 2023 contract signed as American Supercross. So that's where I'm at right now. And we'll just see where it leads.
Chad, you've seen professional motorsports of all kinds all around the world. You're a big fan of racing of all kinds. How would you assess what you've seen of World Supercross so far in comparison to some of the other major world championships that you've been a part of or witnessed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge MotoGP fan and love, you know, with my background growing up and, you know, the Mick Doohan era into the, you know, Goberts, Mladen's. MotoGP was always in our blood to see it, you know, so you always seen and always thought that our ticket out of the country was always to go road racing. And I took, you know, kind of the rare opportunity to try to make it as a motocross rider. So you think of all these years later, and I think of how, you know, now Jet and Hunter and a lot of Australian kids being quite successful, how cool that is that, you know, I think it's more rare that there's road race people coming out of our country, you know, currently at a higher level than what there is motocross people. So hopefully at some point I played a role in that. And so when I see this group of people, this is, you know, these are not just new logos for me, you know, like the group of people behind the scenes. Some of them I've known since I was 12 years old. These individuals I've, you know, been around, I've seen their success. You know, from the TV side of it to Tony on the business side, Adam as a friend from, you know, growing up racing. So I'm in a unique position because I know them individually and seeing their successes behind, you know, in the path that they're taking. So for me, it's just not surprised to see us at this point. I love that there's so much noise. I call it noise. You know, in the background, because when you create noise, that means you're doing something correct. And so I like it. I like to be a part of that. I'm a big fan of being a part of noise. So you bring it on.
Ken, you had one set of hurdles to accomplish when you came to the U.S. to race Supercross. Now we're going global with it. What are the challenges like for an athlete to run the World Supercross Championship?
I think it's more so for example, for Americans, I feel like, you know, and I honestly almost consider myself an American because I've had my entire adult life built in the U.S. I bought my first house, my first car, all of that stuff, right? And because of our schedules being so busy over there, we never get to go anywhere. So I think just as a rider, it feels somewhat new to me again because it's been so long, is going to different cultures, right? Like you go into places where you don't know, you kind of have to wing it a little bit in a way, right? Like restaurants and grocery stores and trying to book all this stuff. Luckily, I don't have to book any of it. Like that's not my part, which I'm glad. But it's really just stepping out of that comfort zone that I was talking about, and instead of, you know, always having a perfect schedule every single day and you know, traveling around the world with flights and jet lag and taking your running shoes and just going off, you know, those are all little things that we're so used to in the U.S. that's normal to us, and we know where we're going. And coming here, it's not like that, and I enjoy that. So as a rider, that's what gets me excited, and I feel like that's why it doesn't really feel like work to me, and that's what I'm enjoying.
Max, what are some of the positives for you about going global with Supercross as opposed to just racing in the U.S.?
Well, like we've said, it's the fans being able to see us race. You know, we've got like I said, people from all over coming to watch this, whether it's Europe or the UK. Yeah, like I said, family, friends, and for me, the positives coming back here. I mean, it's nice for me to be at home. I know what restaurants to go to and where to go and have some food. It's crazy, like Kenny was saying with the US, you can fly all over US and you land and there's still a Target and a Walmart and a Whole Foods, and whereas I've never been to Australia for round 2, and that's going to be a whole new thing. You know, like you said, you're winging it. You don't know, and that's something that makes it a lot easier in the States. But over here, yeah, you've got to get used to that and the flights and the plans and all that sort of thing. So no, I think it's great. I think it's just the whole thing is a positive. The whole thing is a positive to be able to be here and do this.
Okay, let's take some questions from our audience. I'm sure some of our journalists have a few. Go ahead, Steve.
Question for Kim. I think your future for 2023 is up in the air. We're not sure exactly what you're doing. Would you put doing the 2023 World Supercross as an option for you? Is that something that you would look at if the deal was right for you?
Everything's possible. I mean, like you said, I don't have anything going on for me right now for 2023 yet. You know, my focus is to get ready, train just like I normally would to start American Supercross. Anything after that, and whether that's on my own or with the team, that's all up in the air. But it's kind of exciting for me too. I feel like I kind of needed that a little bit in a way. And then after that, yeah, I mean, I'm open for anything. You know, it just depends on what rolls on the table. It takes me back to the roots a little bit, to a long time ago actually, when the whole team thing wasn't set in stone yet, and it's a little bit of a unique situation. But at the same time, yeah, I'm open for anything really.
Who's next? Anybody else? All right, Jeff.
Hey guys, typically when you guys would race the World Championship or a race in America, you would have the big rigs, the team transporters. Most of you guys had like a private motor coach that you'd work out of. Here, that's way different. There is none of that. You guys are, pitting out of a locker room per se. How does that change your day and how you approach this race?
Well, it's just you get so comfortable, with those things at home, and for all of us, really. I mean, it's just a lot different, and especially me. I mean, Chad and Kenny and Max here, they've been around the GPs and they've had to do those things. But for me, yeah, it is something new, but it's a new adventure. So for me, it's just exciting.
I think, somebody that's removed from it the last 2 years, and I sit next to Kenny and Eli, and I think that how I went racing is very similar to how I see those guys going racing. These two are probably, two of the last motorhomes in the pits. It seems like the sport's changed a little. Once upon a time, it was like you created everything to be your best, whether it was jumping on private airplanes. These two share airplanes. I would never have shared an airplane. And getting a motorhome, and your motorhome become your staff, your people. So there's so much more to the motorhomes and, the week in, week out grind that is Supercross in America. And so for me, I feel it's refreshing, it's refreshing to pack a gear bag. I had to order a gear bag, not just because I'm retired for 2 years, but I don't ever use a gear bag. I have multiple sets of gear. When there's a set on the motorhome or a set on the race truck, there's a set at your practice track. And I didn't even own a gear bag. You just get so used to that, bouncing from one thing to the other. So it's just, I think in one respect, it's all very similar, but packing your own stuff, the little things that you like eating and your vitamins, your drinks, and all the things that you like, just having to give that a thought rather than just knowing that it's there and somebody else is handling it, I think is the biggest things that I notice.
I think actually for me, 50% of my wins in the last 2 years, I didn't even have a motorhome. And part of that was, for example, Indianapolis, where, it was freezing cold, it was snowy, and I didn't have my motorhome there, which means a little bit out of our comfort zone. I have everything dialed with a bus driver and all my gear laid out. And got thrown into the semi, and it was freezing cold at times, and we won a bunch. So stepping out of a comfort zone for me is something that I'm used to, and I guess slowly starting to get comfortable with it.
It's all right. My private jet was being filled up with fuel, so I just flew in on the helicopter. I just flew in on the chopper this morning. It's fine. I got my bus outside, so yeah, I'm all dialed in. I'm fine.
Well played, Max. Well played. Okay, anybody else? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This is just a question for all four of you guys. Obviously, the race format's a little different than your typical American Championship. So for all four of you, did you guys tackle the weekly preparation a little different? Also, considering we have to do Super Pole, that's a little different, unique aspect of the race night.
Yeah, I think we all try to mimic the race day program. I feel like, or I don't know about these guys, but I took a little bit of time off after the last race, and then had a couple of weeks to prep, and then hurricane came in, and I haven't even ridden for like 10 days. So had a little time to prepare, but nonetheless, I feel ready, and it'll be exciting. I've never been part of a Super Pole really, so it'll be cool to be the only rider on the track with lots of fans around, and basically no room for any mistakes. So I'm looking forward to it. It's part of the fun.
All right, Eli, for you, you've been racing and racing and racing. It's been a long year. Sorry, did I cut you off, Chad? Did I cut anybody off?
All four of us.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I took a little bit of time off after my last race too, so I feel pretty fresh. I think like starting from zero, it was fun to know the schedule. Know that I didn't have to put in 20+ minute motos, so I never went over 15 laps, kept it short. And so yeah, like that process and learning that, I'm really excited about Super Pole in particular. I'm not a big fan of what I call qualifying, just out there, just trying to, like, for me, practice is practice. And I think in the US we're so, actually globally, because even MXGPs was like that, you hit the ground, and as soon as you hit the ground, it's just like you're trying to extract lap time after lap time after lap time. And you really don't get to give bike settings a thought, track, options and things like that. So I love this schedule, looking at it. There's a free practice today, and then a qualifying, a free practice tomorrow, a qualifying, and then hopefully a good heat race. And then we get to, reset. And I think that I've had experience in Australia doing the Super Pole, and it's a unique feeling. It's you, the lights are on you, and you're in a fishbowl, everybody's watching you. And for me, that's when I'm probably at my best, like I think being amongst everybody and trying to play the stretching competition isn't always my favorite. So yeah, I'm excited for the new schedule.
Yeah, I mean, Chad basically said everything I was going to say. It's just the Super Pole is something really unique. I love that part of the program that we have going on, and obviously with the schedule itself, yeah, it's those 3 short races and short turnarounds. So I think the short turnaround is going to be really interesting. It's very, very, very tight, so it's going to be tough. Even though those races are short, those turnarounds are going to be tough.
Max?
I'm a 250 rider now, so I don't think, unless I missed it, I don't think we're doing Super Pole. But I've been training with Dean Wilson, my teammate, and we've been doing Super Pole in the week, and it's so if I had to do it, I'd be ready. But no, the schedule's kind of cool. Doing shorter motos, quick turnaround starts are important. Definitely going to be different than prepping for. I've only raced Supercross the last couple of years in the States, and it's been on a 450, and 20 minutes plus 1 lap feels like you're out there for an hour sometimes. So yeah, going to be kind of cool to do shorter sprints and see what it's all about.
Okay. Next.
All right, Eli, for you. After a year of racing and everything with so much importance on it, Supercross championships, Motocross of Nations, to come here and do this race as a wild card and just know, hey, I have this one, and then Paris Supercross in a few weeks. We know you're going to take it serious and you want to come out here, but does it feel nice not to have so much overwhelming pressure of, I have to deliver for a bigger goal right now?
Yeah, and it's all part of the journey, really. And for me, it's been easy this year because I've been able to get wins, you know, and the whole year's just been kind of just nice, you know, and kind of just been going the right way. So I mean, for yeah, it seems like I've been racing forever, but honestly, I've just been actually doing a little bit of less cross training and more riding, you know, to make it this far into the season. So yeah, enjoying the moment.
Okay, anybody else?